What's good, people? This is Sam O'Reilly with the Fight Talk podcast in association with Round 8. Today we're delighted to be joined by Ben Jones. Ben, how are you, mate?
I'm not bad at all, thanks. Not too bad, thank you.
Hello, Ben. Alright, so obviously we know a bit about you. Your current record, 22 wins, 5 losses and 1 draw. You're ranked number 4 at WBO. You've gone quite under the radar a bit, actually. I mean, for those who don't know, tell us a bit about yourself, mate.
I have gone under the radar a little bit, yeah. I mean, I started my career with Matchroom, but it was Barry Hearn then. Started off with themselves. They went a little bit quiet, to be honest, at that time. Eddie wasn't involved, so went a bit quiet. I got Frank Maloney come in with a great deal, great contract, great everything, which I jumped over with him. Had 2 very hard fights. I had Akash Bhatia, which then was your up-and-coming, supposedly the next world-class guy. And obviously as well, I fought Lee Selby, so I fought 2 fantastic guys. The worst thing about that is obviously Maloney stopped promoting and become a woman, so it changed my life completely. And so I've been a little bit under the radar for the last sort of 3 or 4 years, sort of jumping on different shows and building my way back up.
Yeah, you obviously, like you say, you've been around 10 years. You fought Selby, you've also fought Selby Smith.
That's right,
so
yeah.
You've been in with some top people.
I sure have, yeah.
Do you think there's a specific reason? Obviously, Frank Maloney, when whatever happened 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Is there a reason you weren't picked up by someone, a Matchroom again or a Frank Warren? What would you put that down to, Ben?
I think maybe a bit of inconsistency, really, with not boxing and that sort of thing. And I think just sort of where I'm from, a little bit south of London, and I'm just not in that mix of it all, which is a real shame. I think I needed to do a little bit more shouting a few years back, and I think it'd have helped. I really do.
Well, I mean, last week you was out down York Hall, and you fought a fella, Carlos Osorio. Come through it successfully. I know you're sort of looking at now, you're closing on a shot at the world champion Oscar Valdez, Mexican fella. 21-0, 19 knockouts. I mean, what's the deal there? Is that a possibility for next year? How close are you to that fight?
To be honest, it's politics with boxing. I would love the fight. I think he's a young man. I think he's a fantastic fighter, don't get me wrong. I think he's got a lot to learn. And I think someone like myself that's been around a long time might be able to exploit the things that he does wrong. Also, I mean, I would love my chance back for Lee Selby, to be totally honest. Lee Selby fought me. I believe it's his hardest fight to date. He came out of that ring knowing full well that he didn't think he won that fight. I went into change rooms afterwards, and he wasn't positive that he won the fight himself. He was coming to the later rounds. Obviously, he's fading away. That's where I'm good. So who knows? He's a fantastic fighter himself. Don't get me wrong. But I would love the opportunity to fight Lee Selby. British affair. I'm Welsh as well. So how good would that be? 2 Welshmen fighting for a title.
I'm sure it would. I mean, how would that work? Obviously, I know you linked up with Assassin Promotions.
That's right.
But with regards to promotional and stuff, are you in any contracts, or you can fight?
Not promotional, no. Management, I am. Assassin Promotions do my management side. They're localish themselves, and they seem to come up with the goods. The only thing I need is that promotion side. I need someone just to give me that little bit of help. Really, I'm young at heart. I mean, don't get me wrong, my age isn't the youngest, but I mean, if you only had to watch last week, and I can keep going. I'm not called Duracell for no reason.
You've already sort of mentioned there Lee Selby. I mean, not only Selby, sort of on the British division of the featherweights, you've also got your Framptons, you've also got your
Frampton as well, too, right? Yeah, and Warrington, yeah, that's right. I mean, over the time I've done rounds and rounds and rounds with Cole Frampton himself, sparring and stuff. I mean, I'd love the fight. I just can't. With him, for some reason, I can see him all now going for money fights, which is fair play to him, and that's sort of half the reason why I haven't targeted it. Don't get me wrong, I would jump at the opportunity. Really would if they could give it to me. But will they? I doubt it. I think for little outcome for them, they'd look at there'd be no money involved in my eyes, and a big risk. So that's what I would believe. I think the Lee Selby side, I think he can make a big. Because I fought him before, I think so many people would want to see it. I think loads of people would be there. The British Affair as well. Obviously, Welshman against Welshman as well would help. I just think that's a big, great fight for and probably in his mind, well, I don't know about actually his mind, but his management's mind, be an easy fight for him, I think. So I would definitely go for it.
What would you say is your greatest achievements to date? You're 34, but like you say, you've been around, but you're relatively young. You've been in a few wars and stuff, but you've been around and fought a lot of good guys. But I think there's a lot of room left in for you to improve and go on. What would you say is your best achievement so far?
To be honest, obviously getting into number 4 in the WBO is fantastic. That's an achievement in itself. How I boxed against Martin Palagi was a great achievement. I boxed very well. I actually got cut and took a silly shot in about the first 15 seconds, which made the whole fight a little bit more exciting. I come back and fought very well and a great win. So that was a massive achievement. Obviously, winning the English title was a fantastic achievement against Akash Bhatia, who was at the time was a fantastic fight, and I was a massive underdog for winning that fight, and proved myself, and it actually got stopped, I think, the 7th or 8th, but it should have been stopped as in a KO stopped, or TKO really. They stopped it on cuts and sort of made it a little bit more respectable.
No, you sort of touched on a little while ago about sort of saying, if you'd done a bit of shouting a little while ago, you might have got a bit more sort of notice.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you started 10 years ago. Things like social media and Twitter and that weren't about back then. I mean, I think it's a massive tool these days. Like, for example, Dave Allen, Dillian White, they use it to maximise their publicity. I mean, you look at people, I know you said already, you mentioned the age as well. I mean, you look at people like Klitschko fighting in his 40s. I mean, is that not something that you would, is it your sort of personality to be?
I think so. No, I've always said, if I walk into any of my gyms I walk into and I don't feel like I'm the fittest there, then maybe it's time for me to give up. Because I strongly believe that every gym I walk in, I'm the fittest lad in there. When I'm fit, don't get me wrong, obviously I've walked in and I'm fit. But so I believe I'm an honest person to myself, and I will know if I'm slacking on my fitness or something like that, or the younger lads are coming through better and stronger and whatever. I'll be honest with myself, but there's no sign of that yet.
So you're feeling good. How long you realistically want to go on? What's the goal? Just to be world champ at any organisation?
Of course, I'd love to be world champ. Let's get the opportunities. That's the thing. If you look through my career, don't get me wrong, I've fought some great people, but never really for anything. I took a few bad decisions. I fought with a lad from Spain who's actually who's done quite well, a European champion and that sort of thing. It was hands down I beat him. It was that embarrassing that the Spanish crowd booed the result. But them results don't help me. That didn't help me in my way up. By the time I was European, WBO European. But them little things like that just didn't help my career. It was just a real shame because I just needed to get on shows, and just a bit of a shame, really.
I mean, going ahead in the future, how do you plan on getting, if, say for example, a big fight, say for example, Lee Selby did come available, obviously with Cyclone promotions at the minute, obviously they've got a big Channel 5 deal. I mean, how would you, in a position right now, how would you go about putting yourself forward and making them take notice of you and get that fight now?
I mean, hopefully, I believe my manager Kaz from Assassin, he's pushing at the moment for for these fights, obviously he's pushing on Oscar Valdez as well. But Lee Selby, I believe there's talks there as well. So the problem is politics, and they all want to make money as well. And it's about who's going to fight who. I mean, there's talk at the moment of Cole Frampton fighting Lee Selby, but they both got fights in between. And then again, they're talking about this back end of summer, which is a long time in my eyes. So I believe that for both of them, there's an opportunity in the middle to fight me. That's what I believe.
While there's the the management and the politics in the background going on, how often are you looking to fight? You're looking to stay busy. When are you next out?
I mean, I would like to be busy. Yeah, I've told them, obviously my camp, that I want to be out end of January, February latest. I don't want it to be going into March. So I want to be. I mean, I can understand there's not going to be many shows that I can just jump on this side of Christmas, and then not many people would really want to put shows on right at the beginning of January. So end of January, beginning of February, any point of February, let's get me signed on something. Let's get moving. I want to keep moving.
And finally, from me, Ben, just wanted to mention as well, something away from the boxing. I spoke to a chap on Twitter, Chris Wing. You're doing a bit of charity work at the MS Centre in Sussex, doing some sort of challenge. What's going on over there, and what you're doing for them?
They're a fantastic lot. They're first of all, they're a charity in Sussex, is Brighton, a place called Southwick in Brighton, and they're a self-funded thing. Everyone's in there is a volunteer. They're doing it. And to be honest, the best thing about this place is there's lots of people who go there with MS, and they all understand each other's problems. They help each other out. One of them's having a bad day. It's that type of thing. It's a real good atmosphere in there. They do arts and crafts and all sorts of things. And do you know what? They enjoy me being there. Sort of someone young, healthy, doing all right in the sport, doing well in the sport, and just being part of it. But with this as well, we're trying to make a bit of an awareness with Chris. Chris is a fantastic guy. I met him with Razor Ruddock. That's Neil Razor Ruddock, the footballer, and a few other celebrities and footballers and stuff. We was doing a charity day. That's how I met him. And he's asked me if I could, being a Sussex lad from born sort of Sussex, Crawley and Crawley. So he's asked me to do sort of a charity thing, and I'm doing a charity run with him, which I've been doing. And it's as many miles I can do, and we're having a bit of a laugh and a joke with it, and just getting awareness really for MS in general.
Excellent. Well, yeah, obviously a great cause, and hats off to you for getting involved in something like that and giving back to the community, mate.
Thank you very much. No, it's an absolute pleasure to be involved with.
Very good. Well, listen, back to your boxing, your bread and butter. I personally hope you get those big fights you crave, mate. Your records. You've fought some of the very best people around the division. It's about time you got a big fight and a bit more exposure about you, mate. So I wish you the very best of luck.
So. Thank you so much. I really hope so. Let's get something signed.
That's it. Let's get it done. Thanks for joining us on the Fight Talk podcast.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ben.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers, Ben. Bye bye.